Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special edition of Smoke and Fire. This is a short version of our usual show, but it should be interesting. I am your not so humble correspondent, Robert Black, clean shaven here, and this is my co host, Tony Motown Allen. How's it going, sir?
Not so clean shaven, but still doing good. Ready for happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day for those who are happy, I'm assuming. Well, we're going to get there in a second, but
Oh, we getting two ends with this one.
yeah.
But before we get started, though, I'm smoking a Cohiba today. Mom got me this as a gift. She got it for Christmas, and I knew we were going to be recording our Valentine's Day special, so I wanted to save this for the show. So,
Cool.
Thank you, Mama Motown, for the Cohiba. Very nice cigar.
Sweet. And in honor of Valentine's Day itself, I chose a cigar that last time Tony was smoking, a Romeo and Juliet, and it is a Reserve Churchill. And if you know anything about me, which you might not, Winston Churchill is one of my favorite characters from history, a very good leader, and the kind of guy that could look a man like Hitler dead in the face and say, "You want this island, you ugly-looking motherfucker? Come get it." One of the only people in history able to do that. So God bless Winston Churchill, and God bless this cigar. Romeo and Juliet, looking good. What are you drinking this time, Motown?
I guess got me a Mick Ultra right now.
Mick Ultra. The Villa Havana here in Plainfield, Indiana, has a lot of great cigar and drink choices. Myself, I am doing a coffee and Irish cream this time because it is cold and miserable in Indianapolis right now. And when it's cold and miserable outside, you get warm alcohol. So, and
Man,
because-
speaking of cold and man, normally I get some liquor when it's cold and miserable. Don't worry, next episode I might have me a drink.
well, yeah, that's true. But
Just gotta take it easy with the new car.
yeah, that's true. That's very true. And the new,
Don't go-
well, you know, you got to be. But I'm glad that the new vehicle is nice. I do have to admit that.
Absolutely, I got lucky there. Definitely lucky.
Speaking of luck and heavy drinking, let's talk about Valentine's Day.
But that's
Now, I realize that I am going to take a chance at insulting a lot of people here, but this is Smoke and Fire, and we talk about controversial things. But Valentine's Day is not for men.
that's not.
No.
It's a woman's holiday.
Yes, it is. When you think about it, women get 3 holidays: Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Sweetest Day.
Sweetest Day technically is supposed to be for the men. Technically, that's supposed to be the women like celebrating the men.
Really?
Yes, Sweetest Day is not for women. That's for the men.
That sounds like a trick.
It is, but
Because, well, okay, let's be honest here.
in all honesty though, because I mean I've always heard that it's supposed to be like the women buy the guy gift for Sweetest Day, like they have Valentine's Day. That's our Valentine's Day, but our real Valentine's Day, and y'all gonna think that I'm lying, but I'm not lying. Google it. March 14th, Steak and Blowjob Day. That's our day.
And I have been getting gypped for years.
I know, me too.
Oh, damn. Well, you see,
I was married twice, and I usually had to do my own steak.
Well, I was married once, and I had to do my own marriage. So, be that as it, hey, I didn't even get laid on my honeymoon. That's a long ass story that we'll
That's
leave
kinda
for.
fucked up.
Yes, it is, but we'll leave it for. Let's
Did
just.
she?
No. God, if that had happened, I would have been divorced sooner rather than I was. But here's the thing: my ex was a hypochondriac.
Okay.
Bipolar disorder and all sorts of other amazingly complicated things. So the honeymoon turned out to be a bust, and that had to do more with her than than me, and the fact that she didn't want to participate in the small trip we took.
Gotcha.
But for me, Valentine's Day has been all about disappointment. Because unless you are a real natural player, there is very little point in Valentine's Day unless you are newly in love and you're, you know, when you first start a relationship, it's great and everybody knows
Every day is
this.
Valentine's Day in a new relationship.
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing that I wondered. Can a man enjoy Valentine's Day past the obligatory sex? I mean, if you're not in a relationship and you are having an anti-Valentine's Day, can a man really enjoy himself on February 14th?
In my opinion, I've been both ways, but you want to talk from a singles aspect? No. 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 I've been like I told you guys, I've been married twice. That's why I'm still here. Wreck my goddamn car. You know why I walked away? Because heaven won't take me. Hell's scared of me. The devil still got a restraining order against me. I scare him because I was married twice, not that motherfucker.
Well, you know, that is a brave statement to make. I, on the other hand, am, you know, so fearful of my own soul that I really don't want to walk down a dark alley. But
Valentine's Day, in my opinion, I mean, because I mean, I make fun of the fact that I've been married a couple times. I've gone through some relationships and everything, though. But to me, Valentine's Day, when you are in a relationship, is good, though. Like, I do enjoy it and everything. I like making my lady happy and everything.
well, I mean, it's not so much it's not so much the work that goes into it, but sometimes the demands that, I mean, the pressure of this holiday is that not only do you have to show up every year if you're in a relationship, but you somehow have to top it every year or your woman doesn't feel appreciated. You have to go all out every year for a day that is almost exclusively for her. And if you get your something on the side, it's, you know, it feels like an obligation to her. So, when it comes to Valentine's Day, there are a couple of things that I try to appreciate. The historical aspects of it. Of course, the whole holiday is based on Saint Valentine.
Yeah.
And the whole reason that the holiday exists is because he was martyred for doing illegal marriages in Rome against the wishes of the emperor. And if I remember rightly, he was stoned to death for doing that.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, which is,
I say kind of. Excuse me, folks, for like saying that's kind of fucked up. I apologize, but like that's real
very
fucked up.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, I mean, it's not the only fucked up thing about Valentine's Day, but the fact that the holiday started with an out-and-out legal execution or illegal execution, depending on whether you think that Roman authority is legitimate, kind of speaks to the pleasure and pain aspect of this whole thing, and the fact that the man in the fact that the way that we honor that death is by chocolates, greeting cards, and sex seems to be a very, very poor way of honoring a guy who, I mean, stoning to death is a very, very hard-ass way to go.
It is. It's kind of funny because you mentioned the chocolate, greeting cards, and sex. That's pretty much the trio of gifts that I get when I'm in a relationship. She gets some chocolate, she gets a card, then she gets some more chocolate, if you know what I mean. Put it on her. Like, does!
I can't say it. First the flowers, then the fudge. You know, tightly packed. But we're both going to hell. I'm sorry, but well, no, I'm not sorry because this is smoke and fire. We're supposed to be vulgar.
And not only that, if you're going to hell with somebody, make sure it's somebody you can have some fun down there with.
Well, as Billy Joel said, you see, this is what Irish coffee does. It makes you forget things. But no.
Shit, for me, old age does that.
Okay, I quote Billy Joel. They say there's a heaven for those who will wait. Some say it's better, but I say it ain't. I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints, because the sinners are much more fun, and only the good die young.
Facts. Now, I will say this, though, before we go too far on Valentine's Day, because I say that I give the chocolate, I give the card, and I give the
Fudge. Yeah.
But my first wife actually got proposed. I actually proposed to her on Valentine's Day. That was her gift. My first wife had 3 girls and everything, so this was like my little family and everything, though. So I did use Valentine's Day. Ooh, that was back in like 2000, 2001. But I used it. Young and dumb. Ugh.
Well, you know, everybody has like Shirley MacLaine said in Two Mules for Sister Sarah, everybody's got the right to be a sucker once. No. In your second marriage, you were wiser, and that wasn't your fault. You know, it happens.
Second marriage, just so you guys know. If I was having as much sex as she was, I might still be married.
That's a good point to make.
But I do enjoy Valentine's Day when I'm in a relationship. When I'm single, it's like,
Well, okay, there is also another important aspect of Valentine's Day that needs to be remembered for its historical significance. And since you're from Chicago, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
yes.
For some reason, February 14th seems to be the perfect day to line people up against a wall and unload on them with heavy artillery. But the reason...
I wish I unloaded the number 2 like that.
I digress. No, we're not advocating. Don't do that. Last episode, we talked about how you should not perform political assassinations. Don't kill your wife, no matter how much of a hoe she be. You know.
Like, what's his name? Gene Hackman? Was it Gene Hackman in Quick and the Dead?
Yes.
He said he was married, and Sharon Stone was like, what happened? She was unfaithful. So what happened to her?
She was unfaithful. Oh, that's a good movie too.
Oh, excellent movie.
Now you want to talk about great cinema that involves women's liberation. Sharon Stone was great in that movie.
She was excellent in it. I mean, normally it's like Sharon Stone and like Basic Instinct.
Oh well, yes, Basic Instinct was a damn good movie.
I'm sorry, Mom, but I would have slept with Sharon Stone in that movie, knowing that this bitch was stabbing people with an ice pick. I would just,
Well, see, no. In the end, Michael Douglas didn't get killed. She was about to stab him, but apparently the orgasm was so fucking good she dropped the weapon. Now, to talk about Valentine's Day and love, that's love that lasts.
Not only that pussy was so good. Michael Douglas was willing to risk his life for it.
Well, you know something? At one point, Sharon Stone was the it girl.
Yes, without a doubt.
Yes, absolutely. But getting back to Valentine's Day itself, the reason
the day itself for the massacre.
Well, yes. But see, the reason that I mentioned the massacre is because the 7 men who died during that whole fiasco were the linchpin for the repeal of the 18th Amendment. Because without the St. Valentine's Day Massacre and the outrage that it caused, prohibition might have never been repealed. Because up until that time, a constitutional amendment had never been repealed. And the people, the teetotalers, the abstinence people, but anyway, they had been trying for like damn near 100 years to ban the sale and distribution of alcohol in the United States. When they finally succeeded, they did not imagine the negative consequences, but they thought that once they banned alcohol, it would always and forever be banned because no one had ever repealed a constitutional amendment. But things got so bad that after the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, there was a huge movement, even among people who were prohibitionists, to have the law repealed because organized crime had gone way, way too far. And it also prompted in, I believe, 1931, the famous meeting of mobsters in Atlantic City. And they basically did what 20 years later the promoters of professional wrestling would do after the Second World War. They got together and they took a map of the United States and they divvied up territories.
So they did like the old school wrestling territories there.
Yes, that's exactly what the mob did.
You stay in here, don't cross that line.
The families did that because they did not want a repeat of what Capone did. And since Capone was in jail at the time, or was about to go to jail for tax evasion, the mobsters, led with spokesman Lucky Luciano, said, "Hey, this shit's got to stop. There's enough business for us all, and what we're going to do is we're going to divide everything between the families with boundaries that nobody can cross, and nobody is allowed to murder anybody else without the expressed consent of the top bosses." Because, see, they were trying to de-escalate, and they were trying to do the opposite of what the wrestling guys were doing. The NWA wanted everybody under one banner.
Yeah.
But the mob wanted to decentralize. They did not want a boss of bosses in the United States because they knew what kind of problems that would cause.
Makes sense.
And they didn't want to go to war with the federal government either because the FBI had just been established and they took down Capone. Granted, it was with tax evasion, but they still took him down. So, the fact that all of that happened during Valentine's Day of 1929 is something that we should celebrate in a way. Not the fact that 7 guys got whacked, 2 of which had absolutely nothing to do with Bunks Moran's Northside gang. One was just a poor fucking mechanic that was there on his day off.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, very wrong place, wrong time. But yeah, the 7 guys unknowingly gave their lives so that we could be in this lovely establishment and have coffee with Irish cream and beautiful Michelob's beer. So cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers to the 21st Amendment. So there are, I have always considered Valentine's Day just not my day because I have just had no luck with relationships in my life. Not really.
I haven't either. I mean, last year I had a good Valentine's Day and I was single, so I will say that though. Like I had a friend here from out of the country, and we get to spend Valentine's Day together. And also last year was actually really good. That was my first one in Indianapolis that was good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oddly enough, it was the first one in Indianapolis where I was single.
Well, I mean, obviously you can go out to strip joints and you can go hookering in Vegas. You can compensate for a lonely Valentine's Day. Now, obviously women do it differently than men do, but trust me, ladies, men know how to compensate for a loveless Valentine's Day.
My lowest Valentine's Day is staying at home. I mean, everything is too fucking expensive, including the titty bars during Valentine's Day. They jack up the price on everything.
Yeah, because they
Roses
know.
are double the price. Like, even when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, look, I'm gonna get you some roses like a week or two after Valentine's Day because I ain't paying that money. But, and the women I've been with, you know, like when I was with Tina and then when I was in my previous marriages and everything, we had a life together, we were living together and everything. So they get it though, because it's like spending all this money on this crap when that money be going something else in the household though. So I really never had like somebody who was like over the top and needs this and need this and need this with Valentine's Day. I mean, to me, Valentine's Day, if you're in a committed relationship, is just every day should be Valentine's Day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know, but see, that is the worst part of all. This holiday is just built on overspending.
Yes.
I
You know,
know-
when you go out to eat, like the restaurants, they charge like restaurants have a Valentine's Day menu,
Yeah,
which is the exact same menu on fucking steroids.
yeah,
And I honestly think they give you less too.
yes, yeah. I mean, it's
My personal favorite though, for anybody that's watching and everything, you want to take your girl to White Castle, you better make those Valentine's Day reservations for White Castles. Have you seen that?
No, I have not seen that.
I haven't seen it this year. I haven't been around, and I'm not sure how big it is in Indy, but in Chicago they used to have the signs up, make your Valentine's Day reservations
At White Castle.
At White Castle.
Wow.
For like the younger kids, like the high school kids that just out of high school,
Okay, yeah.
that became a big thing where like it was a busy day for White Castle.
Yeah, because if you've been married for 20 years and you take your woman to White Castle on Valentine's Day, you're liable to get shot.
Here's a reason I can't take my woman to a White Castle on Valentine's Day. And the night's not going to end well for two reasons. Number one, we went to White Castles, and number two, the shit the White Castle does to your ass kind of kills the mood.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't ride cowgirl if your intestines are full of shit.
Yeah.
At least that's not the way we do it, but, you know, it all is fair in love and war. But speaking of war, I am really enjoying this cigar, and like I said, I really love Winston Churchill because he was a man with balls and integrity, and even when people thought that he was completely full of shit and out of his mind, he persevered. And Valentine's Day is one of those days when men who don't have relationships persevere. Now, speaking of persevering, how much time do we have left?
We got a few more minutes. I mean,
Oh, cool.
we're the bosses.
Exactly. Well, see, that's another thing. Women are the boss on Valentine's Day, usually. And
They have the pussy, they have the control.
well, see, that's one of the worst parts of it. And I'm sorry.
That's when you gotta come with the jackhammer. My lady used to think that she was in control, but sometimes you gotta like remind her.
Look, it is historically a fact that that women who are not directly in charge of nations or families or whatnot have more power behind the throne than they do sitting in it. And that's historically accurate. I mean, there are exceptions to that rule. Henry VIII, who was just a complete scumbag, who wanted a son so badly that he literally murdered 8 wives to get there, and he was the one with the problem the whole time. But medical science was nowhere near figuring that out yet. But even when ladies are not directly in charge, they control the world, and always have. Because once a woman discovers that she possesses the most powerful weapon on the face of the earth, and she figures out how to use it to her advantage, nothing can stop her.
Why do you think Bill Belichick is with a 24-year-old and he's 72?
Why do you think Taylor Swift is going to the Super Bowl? She's going to be seen on camera about 1,200 times, and you know that.
Let's say Taylor Swift for another episode.
Okay, to be continued. But here's
So we'll get there.
Oh yeah. But here's the thing about Henry VIII, though. He actually, his first wife was Catherine of Aragon, a French lady, and Henry VIII wanted to divorce her so badly that he started his own damn church and put himself at the head of it just so he could divorce her.
That's smart.
That is the origin of the Church of England. He wanted to annul his marriage, and England was Catholic at the time. He appealed directly to the Pope and said, I want to end my marriage. The Pope said, no. You made your bed, now lie it.
That is the Catholic. They don't believe in fixing your mistakes. Like, no. And here's the sad part about it. You know how people say life is too short? That's bullshit. Being in a bad marriage, life is long.
Especially if you make bad choices.
Yes.
Like Henry VIII did, because he wanted to marry his mistress Anne Boleyn. And and so he told the Pope to go to hell. The Pope excommunicated his ass, and he said,
"Tell the Pope to go to hell." Though.
Well, he did, because he...
I get that.
Well, yeah, because in the 14th century, the 15th century, the 1500s, Henry VIII had the divine right of kings. They still believed in that shit. And so instead of the country being Catholic and the authority coming from God to the Pope to the king, Henry VIII decided to start his own church, put himself at the head of it, and cut out the Pope entirely. And that started a whole avalanche of shit that resulted in several deaths, like centuries down the road, some of which were still happening in the 20th century during the Troubles in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
All of that was about Catholicism versus Protestants, and Henry VIII was responsible for starting all of that shit way back when, because he wanted a son. Now, Catherine of Aragon got the last laugh, because guess who her daughter was? Elizabeth I, probably the best monarch that England ever had, and the last thing Henry VIII wanted was a girl on the throne. So the ladies got the last laugh there, and you know that does happen a lot in life. So as goes Valentine's Day, so goes the power of women.
Nice.
And the rest of us just kind of cope.
That's cool.
Now, I am not saying this because I'm trying to put down women or be a misogynist. There are plenty of women in this world who don't give a rat's ass about Valentine's Day and do not want to be treated like the queen bee. But, to those that do, just keep in mind that good men suffer on this holiday. So, be kind, be gentle, and give it up. You
Yes.
know? Definitely, we work hard for the money, so you better treat us right.
And for Valentine's Day 2025, my lady knows I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your ones up. Acknowledge your daddy.
And to avoid any more death threats, I think that we're going to end this episode this special Valentine's Day edition of Smoke and Fire. I am your not-so-humble correspondent, Robert Black, with my Irish cream coffee and my Romeo and Juliet cigar, and with his trusty Michelob.
Reliable.
Oh yes, the Tony Motown Allen. Salut and good luck.